while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire.
ここにいる者は誰も死なせない。
Living in a world engulfed by flames with a depressed alcoholic father that even in your dreams won't show you any love, and with a young brother that wasn't chosen by the sword, and in his heart there is the void, lacking the love of his dead mother, nobody would blame you if you would grow to be resentful. But that doesn't happen. You never show any remorse towards your father. You inspire your brother to find a new path, letting him know that you will always love him. You also treat everybody the same way, from the regular people all the way up to your master, always with a kind and truthful smile. And you are also an incredible swordsman. How does such a thing blossom at a tender age of only 20 years old? To simply talk about maturity would only amount to a drop of water in an ocean. It is much more bigger than just maturity. The aura that involves him, that funny looking forward look, sent me on a journey scavenging for the answers in the bay. Don't forget to use a VPN. And on this journey, buried in the mindset of the Japanese warriors, I found the first part of the answer, something known as Kigurai, that means an aura of strength, a commanding presence that comes from having unflattering confidence in one's capability, and it doesn't feel obliged in the slightest to boast his talents. It's something that cannot be emulated or pretended, for it's a natural product of years and years of training. As you see, Kigurai lays its foundations on the path of the sword, and this scene explains everything. Where most people see a deja vu, I see a display of Japanese culture, but at the same time creating a unique style that I will call Rengoku Ryu. So let's dwell inside this style. The name of the game is Kata Kata Kata. Translated as a form, most people define it as a pre-established sequence of moves, but that is just the external part of it. In ancient times, in feudal Japan, they had what is called the Ryuha. They were traditional martial arts schools that in there the sensei would teach you in the following ways. First, kata, because the external aspect of kata teaches you to control your weapon, develop your physical and mental fortitude, and start to hone your understanding of timing, rhythm, and attack opportunities. Then you have your oral teaching, known as Kuden, and my favorite, the transmissions of scrolls, Densho. But in the case of Rengoku, he had this book, the Densho of the former flame Hashiras. And since he lost his father as a trainer, it was this book that taught him the internal aspects of kata that seeks to teach one that mind, spirit, weapon and body should always function as one entity of your being. But above it all, kata is a manifestation of the Ryuha, the sacred ideology, and with that in mind, we can break down the first layer of Rengoku Ryu, doing a thorough analysis of this scene. But first, let's change the music. With the stage set For the showdown, there was no time to think. The thing that will determine the duel is how fast can Rengoku execute the bato, the drawing of the katana, to execute the cut Shiranui. But as you see, he executed pretty fast, so fast that you didn't give it much attention. But this apparent simple task was the driving force in the creation of Yaijutsu, the art of drawing and cutting. Think about a gun duel. It's all about speed, but at the same time, a gun duel doesn't have the spiritual side that Yaijutsu has, and all the martial arts that derive from it, like Yaido and Batodo. As you can see, after performing the kata and the cut, they perform what is called chiburi. That symbolizes taking the blood from the katana, followed by the noto, the sheathing of the katana. But Rengoku Ryu has something that is prevalent only in their style, and I'm talking about the chiburi performed, not because it is an exaggerated motion, but what it intends to achieve. Let's compare it to the one performed by Kyu and the one I don't like. When they did the chiburi, you can actually see blood coming off the katana, but not in the case of Rengoku. The only thing you see were flames leaving the katana. No wonder he puts it in his forehead. It is literally a talk between man and sword. That's why when he performs the noto, there is no zanshin, the unrelaxed attention that you see in Batodo, but instead you get a deep exhale to calm his mind. As a bonus example of Yaijutsu is when Rengoku performs the seated version of Noborienten. It really looks like a Yaido kata. Also, look how his left knee goes down first, following a major rule when assuming the Seiza position. You always put your left knee on the ground first, so you'll be able to draw your katana without butchering your own leg. And this goes to show you the amount of details that are in Demon Slayer. But now, on the journey to understand Rengoku Ryu, we need to talk about one of the most influential styles of Kenjutsu, Ito-ryu, founded by Itosai. And instead of talking about his acolytes' accomplishments, let me read you his words that he told his sensei after beating him several times. Even in his sleep, a man with an itchy foot will not scratch his head. If there is an itch in his foot, he will scratch the foot. If it is the head that is itchy, it is the head that he will scratch. Wherever the itch, the hand is sure to go without hesitation. Is it not the same for martial arts? If there is an opening, the weapon should glide to the spot effortlessly, without a smidgen of indecision. It has to be subconscious, with no thought to it. That is what I have discovered. Simple, funny, but yet powerful. And take in consideration that Ito-ryu literally means the one strike school. You will now realize that most of Rengoku katas are single cuts. Take for example Enko and Rengoku kata. Looking at the fighting style from a general point of view, first I have to state the obvious. Fighting demons is harder. Yes, I already knew that. But I'm talking from a strategical point of view. You have to always aim to the neck, searching for that perfect horizontal cut, which is the hardest cut to perform and being seen only in Batodo, because when you look at orthodox canon of Kenjutsu and Kendo, you have your thrusting techniques known as Tsuki, the cutting ones, Kiri, and the Paris, Katsugi, and you will see that in Kendo they are more focused in thrusting techniques and vertical cuts, choosing the Chudan Kamae or middle stance as their optimal stance. But when fighting a demon, all that goes through the window. It's all about cutting, which is already hard, but that horizontal cut, it is so difficult that most of the times is aimed at the torso. No wonder Rengoku's favorite stances are the Wakigamae and what I call the reverse Takagasumi. always searching to apply the most momentum to the cut. Like for example, spinning to dodge, but at the same time gaining momentum to execute the cut. Also, look at how he declines the thrust opportunity, so he goes around the tree to gain momentum in order to execute the cut. And you will also see this idea in Kyojuro footwork when he performs an exaggerated version of okoriashi, the footwork used in kendo or kiba daichi, karate stance. It is an all-in bet on the cut. If the first cut fails, most of the times Rengoku will go into Jodan Kamae in order to try to sever the head alongside the torso. And finally, you will see that more traditional stance from Rengoku when he is defending, such as Chudan or Hasso Kamae. And now for the best part, Ogi, Kyojiro's last effort. I wanted to say that this was the result of him abandoning the Shikai, the four weaknesses of the mind: fear, surprise, doubt, and hesitation. Countless hours of learning about Buddhism and Zen, but the answer was always there: love. The love of his mother, and the desire to honor that love, and the path that she told him to follow. Nothing more and nothing less.